It is one of the most famous sounds in military history. The sharp, metallic ping of the M1 Garand rifle ejecting its empty En-Bloc clip. In Hollywood movies, television dramas, and popular video games, this sound is depicted as a fatal design flaw. A tactical vulnerability that instantly alerts opposing forces that a rifleman is empty, defenseless, and temporarily disarmed. For decades, this narrative has been passed down as battlefield gospel. But does this legendary flaw hold up to the laws of physical acoustics and tactical reality? Or was the M1 Garand signature sound actually completely irrelevant in the heat of combat? To find out, we must dissect the mechanical anatomy of this historic weapon and analyze the physics of the ping. To understand why the M1 Garand was designed this way, we must look back to the 1930s. In an era dominated by slow, bolt-action rifles, Canadian-American engineer John Garand developed a weapon that would redefine infantry warfare. The M1 Garand was the first semi-automatic rifle standard issued to a major military force. Instead of manually cycling a bolt after every shot, the rifle harnessed expanding propellant gases to automatically chamber the next round. This gave American soldiers an overwhelming advantage in rate of fire. However, to feed ammunition reliably without the expense and feeding problems of detachable magazines of that era, John Garand chose a highly unique feed system, the En-Bloc clip. Unlike a traditional stripper clip, which only guides rounds into a magazine, or a detachable box magazine, which has integrated feed lips, the M1 Garand uses an En-Bloc clip. This simple, lightweight piece of stamped spring steel holds 8 rounds of 30-6 ammunition. The clip itself is inserted directly into the receiver, functioning as the feed lips for the rifle's internal feeding mechanism. It is a cheap, disposable component designed to be loaded quickly and discarded on the battlefield. But this integrated design required a highly specialized ejection mechanism to clear the empty clip once the final round was fired. Loading the M1 Garand is a violent mechanical process. When the shooter pushes the loaded En-Bloc clip down into the receiver, it compresses the powerful follower spring. As the clip reaches the bottom, it triggers the operating rod catch. This releases the heavy bolt to slam forward and chamber the first round. If the shooter does not keep pressure on the clip while holding the operating rod back with the side of their hand, the bolt will release prematurely, slamming into their thumb. This mechanical trap, known as Garand Thumb, can cause painful mechanical pinches. But once loaded, the rifle is locked, loaded, and ready to unleash semi-automatic firepower. When the trigger is pulled, the firing pin strikes the primer, igniting the propellant and generating 50,000 pounds per square inch of gas pressure. As the bullet passes the gas port near the muzzle, high-pressure gas is channeled into a cylinder under the barrel, driving the operating rod backward. The operating rod's cam slot forces the rotating bolt to turn counterclockwise, unlocking its dual locking lugs from the receiver. As the bolt travels backward, it extracts and ejects the spent casing while compressing the operating rod spring, preparing to cycle the next round. The magic of the ping happens on the final shot. After the 8th and final cartridge is fired, the follower arm rises to its highest position, making contact with the clip latch. This contact forces the clip latch to release its hold on the En-Bloc clip. Underneath the clip, a spring-loaded arm called the clip ejector, which has been under tension, snaps upward. This ejector forcefully hurls the empty steel clip up and out of the receiver, clearing the action so the shooter can insert a fresh clip. But as the empty clip clears the steel walls of the receiver, it vibrates. The famous ping is a basic byproduct of materials science. The En-Bloc clip is made of heat-treated spring steel. When the spring tension clip is ejected, it strikes the hardened steel walls of the receiver. This metal-on-metal collision causes the clip to ring like a tuning fork. The spring steel vibrates at a high frequency, typically between 2000 and 4000 Hz. This frequency lies within the absolute peak range of human hearing sensitivity, making it sound exceptionally sharp and clear in quiet environments. However, the battlefield is rarely quiet. To understand why the fatal flaw is mostly a myth, we must analyze the acoustics of combat. A single rifle discharge registers at approximately 150 decibels. In active combat, with multiple rifles discharging, machine guns rattling, artillery exploding, and soldiers shouting, the ambient noise level easily exceeds 100 decibels. In this environment, the 80 decibel ping of a tiny steel clip is completely drowned out by acoustic masking. Unless an opposing combatant was standing within a few feet of the shooter in absolute silence, it was physically impossible for them to hear the ping over the din of battle. Furthermore, the tactical context of infantry combat debunks the myth. Soldiers did not fight in isolated duels. They fought in squads, fire teams, and sections. Even if a single rifleman was empty, his squad mates standing next to him were still loaded and providing covering fire. In addition, reloading the M1 Garand with a fresh En-Bloc clip takes an experienced soldier less than 2 seconds. Any enemy foolish enough to leave cover and exploit this brief pause based on a supposed ping would likely be met by a fully operational rifle before they could cross a fraction of the distance. Some veterans even tried dropping empty clips to bait enemies, with little success. In conclusion, the M1 Garand's ping was never a fatal flaw. It was simply an acoustic consequence of a brilliant mechanical solution. John Garand's En-Bloc system allowed a reliable, high-speed feed mechanism that helped secure victory in World War II. The myth of the ping is a classic example of Hollywood drama overshadowing practical battlefield physics. It remains one of the most satisfying sounds in history, but one of the least significant in tactics. What mechanical legend should we investigate next? Let us know in the comments below, subscribe to Arsenal Anatomy, and we will see you in the next breakdown.